All right, I have another new indie makeup release to talk about today, and this one is from Fantasy Cosmetica. They are releasing a new collection, and this is the Monk collection. Hello and welcome if you are new here. My name is Rachel, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I'm gonna do two looks with the palette. I am gonna list everything that is on my face in both looks down in the description box, and I'm gonna start off with close-up swatches information about the collection. Then I will show you the two looks, and then I will give you my initial thoughts at the end. Now, this is not a review. I have to continue using the palette more than twice to get my full and final thoughts, but at least if you're thinking about picking up this palette, this could give you some inspo. It could tell you maybe what kinds of looks you could create with it, or maybe you're just here for fun. Maybe you're not thinking about picking up the palette. You're just here to watch me put makeup on. Whatever the case is, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you're here. And I think that's all I have to say. Let's do it. So first of all, we have an eyeshadow palette that is launching, and this is what it looks like on the outside. Very beautiful oranges, yellows. I love warm tones, and I love the cover art on Fantasy Cosmetica's palettes. Fantasy Cosmetica is an indie brand that has products based on fantasy elements. Gaming, characters in literature, just a bunch of really cool concepts. And the color story is beautiful. I love warm tones, like I just said. I love wearing warm tones in my eyes. So for me, this color story is speaking to me. It is speaking to me. So I really enjoy this. I think this is going to be beautiful for the summer and the fall, especially. Something different that they're doing here is they actually have a couple of marbled shades, which I've never seen them do before. I could be wrong about that, but I don't recall them doing that. And definitely upon the swatches, they swatch, this one swatches like an iridescent shade that has a flip to it. And this one has different kind of colored specks throughout it, or like different, I don't want to say glitter particles, but sparkle particles, if that makes sense, throughout that you can see. And these two are standard shimmers. Now, the formula of Fantasy Cosmetica shimmers are phenomenal. Very wet to the touch, very shiny, very impactful on the eyes, and the mattes are really good too. So this palette, let me give you some information. They gave me a little postcard. I love this postcard. It says, waterfalls, clear path, mountain whispers, peace within. Breathe and let all go. Thank you for going on a journey with us. We hope you enjoy everything. So the palette retails for $38.99. There's also a fragrance that is launching with this collection. I think I did request like a small sample size, but I didn't get it. I didn't receive it, which is fine. I don't mind. But there is a perfume that is launching, and they do this occasionally with their launches. So the perfume notes are, top notes are cherry blossom, crisp greens, lemon peel, and aloe. Middle notes are matcha tea, rose, marine accord, and Muguet. I don't know what that means.
A few moments later.
Muguet was not even close. And it's lily of the valley. Got it, okay. And then the base is driftwood, sandalwood, and musk. Due to shipping regulations, perfumes are only available in the US. And there's different sizes of perfumes that go from $2.29 for a 1 milliliter sample, all the way up to a 30 milliliter perfume for $32.99. You can get a 10 milliliter perfume and palette in a bundle for $52.99. You can get a 30 milliliter perfume and palette bundle for $67.99. This will launch on January 29th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I do have an affiliate code with Fantasy Cosmetica. It is Rachel, and it will save you 10% off on your purchase. I did receive this palette in PR from the brand. And when you click on my links and use my affiliate codes, there is a chance that the links are affiliated. You can just assume that they are and that my codes are, which means I earn a small commission if you make a purchase using a code or a link, just to let you know. But yeah, I'm very excited to get this on my eyes. For my first look, I want to see how dark and dramatic I can go. I mean, there is only one real deep shade in the palette, but I want to see, like, could I bring this dark if I wanted to, or let's see how dark it can get. And then the next look I do will be a little bit lighter and brighter. That's my plan. So let's do it. Of course, I would love to know your thoughts after seeing this. Are you interested in picking this up? Are you going to skip on it? Whatever it is, let me know. The palette, by the way, is cruelty-free and vegan, and it was made in China. And Fantasy Cosmetica is an indie brand out of Washington State. I have already primed my eyes. I'm gonna go in with more of like a dense brush, and I'm gonna go into that darkest shade called Stillness, that brown. And I am gonna pack this in the outer corner of my eye and bring it into my crease a little bit as well. So I'm gonna take a little tiny brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Channel up here very lightly, and I'm gonna blend out the edges of that dark brown. I'm gonna go onto my lid with the Shine On Shimmer Shadow Enhancer from Clionadh Cosmetics and Bad to the Brow. And I wanna go into the shade Deflect right here and just put this all over the lid. Super beautiful. All right, I'm back. Let's continue. I'm gonna go into Stillness and push this up against my lower lash line. And I'm going to blend that out with Channel. For my inner corner, I want to use Flow, that iridescent shade. I'm going to pick it up on my brush and spray the brush. So beautiful. Love it, love it. And in my waterline, I'm going to use ColourPop's Brouhaha. All right, and this is the finished look number 1. What do you think? I love it. I mean, really, I love this type of look. What can I say? I love warm tones. And all of the shades worked out great for me. The mattes were good. The good pigmented Fantasy Cosmetica mattes I expect. And something that I did that I'm glad I did is I started with the darkest shade just to be able to get the darkest pigment possible. I just packed it on the outer corner and it was great. The shimmer on the lid is stunningly beautiful, as you can tell, and the shimmer that's in my inner corner, very beautiful. It looks like super fiery. I can see gold, yellow, orange, a little bit of pink in there. It's stunning. I would love to see this all over the lid and see what that looks like, but it's a really fun pop for the inner corner. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy to have this makeup on for the rest of the evening. And now I'm gonna send you off to look number 2. All right, I'm ready to do a second look with the Monk palette. And before I start my second look, I just wanted to say I went on Fantasy Cosmetica's Instagram because like this looks like a really badass monk, right? Like when I think of a monk, I think of Friar Tuck from Robin Hood. Not really like giving this energy. So I just wanted to read the little blurb here. It says, in silence, fists like lightning strike. In stillness, the keen mind takes flight. A warrior's glory, a scholar's story. The body bends, the mind ascends. Count this monk among your friends. I was like, oh, okay, I get it, I get it, I get it. I'm here with face makeup on. I never do my face makeup first, ever. Are you a face makeup first person or an eye makeup first person? I've asked this before, but my vision that I have, it's actually going to be easier for me if I already have my base on. So I want to kind of do like half orange, half yellow. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm first going to go in with Energy right here. I'm going to put this in the outer part of my crease. I'm also gonna take that same shade on my lower lash line, but just keep it in the outer part of my lower lash line. Now I wanna go in with the orange called Timeless. I wanna put this on to my lid, but just in the second half of my eye and bring it into the crease just a little bit lower. And once again, I'm gonna take that same shade and put it on my lower lash line, just keeping it to the outer part. Now for the inner section of my lid and my crease, I am gonna go in with the shade Stun. Very pigmented shadows, as you can see. I don't have like a white base down or anything, and they're showing up great. And I'm basically going to wrap this same shade into my inner corner and onto my lower lash line, but keeping it in the inner part of my lower lash line. And now all over the lid, I want to tap the shade Flurry. I'm not going to put like a glitter primer down or anything. I just want it to be like a wash of a sparkle, you know? I don't want it to be super opaque. And this has just the most beautiful different color reflex in here. Perfect. Just that little shine. Exactly. For my waterline, I'm going to use just a white. This one is from ColourPop in the shade Exit. All right, and this is the finished look number 2. What do you think? I feel like a bright, shining sun with this eye look. I love how this came out. It's really fun. It was very simple, as you obviously saw. It took only 10 minutes maybe to do this eye look. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts on the palette are, it's a really good quality that I expect from the brand. The mattes are pigmented, as you could see as I was talking about. Doing this look, I was able to pack like this bright yellow onto my lid, and it was opaque. It didn't take a lot of building up. And it is nice that there is this one dark brown shadow in here to deepen it up like I did in the first look if you want a slightly deeper look. Now, of course, looking at the other mattes that are here, they are very different looking at them close up, in person, different undertones. Now, if I used all 3 of these maybe in the same look on my eyes, would they blend together and look the same? Maybe. So you kind of have to use these strategically if you want them to look different, if that makes sense. Now, the 2 looks that I did, I think look very different. I used every shadow in this palette except Strike. That's the only one I didn't use. So I was able to get a couple of different looks that looked very different. With a 9-pan palette, I'm not expecting to get, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 very distinct looks. This is a pretty monochromatic palette, but the colorway that it is representing, I personally love. This is a color story I'm really gonna get a lot of use out of. I'm very attracted to it, very inspired by it. So yeah, and the shimmers are really stunning. I do like that they have those 2 different kind of marbled shadows, one being iridescent, one being this like multicolored, and just like tapping it over the lid, looking at it in lower lighting, it's really beautiful. So would love to know your thoughts down in the comments about this collection now that you've seen me use it. Are you thinking of picking it up? Are you thinking of skipping? It is gonna launch on January 29th, and you can use my code Rachel. It is affiliated if you wanna save 10% on your purchase. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.